even before you started guessing, okay? So remember yesterday we led the conversation with, I can't factor that because it's an x to the third, because I know that would go to x and then x squared, right? So I needed to get it down to an x squared to be a quadratic. Y'all remember this conversation? And the first thing we did when you come up with that is we said, okay, well, if we divided it by x plus something or x minus something, that would go down to a quadratic. But what did I need the remainder to be? 0. So what did I tell you happened pre-calculator? How did you guess numbers?
We put them in. Like we put in
before,
like 4.
Before calculators. Yeah, how did I get a 4? Why? Nope.
I just remember clicking 4 and hitting enter.
Factors of constant over the factors of leading coefficient. Remember us talking about that?
Mm-hmm.
So if pre-calculator, if I had to guess, that's what I did. Now, what are the factors of the constant? What's the constant? 20. So what's the factors of 20? What goes into 20?
4, 2,
1.
2,
What about 2?
Yes.
3? No. 4?
Yeah.
5?
Yeah.
6, 7, 8?
10.
No. 9? No. 10?
Yes.
Give me the rest of them.
20.
Oh, thank you. All right. Now, what about factors of the leading coefficient? 1, because the leading coefficient is 1 only. Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
So what numbers pre-calculator would I guess? Now I'm doing this because one of those on the board you're going to have to narrow your answers down, and you can use that logic.
I guess 4.
You could guess 4, 5, 10, 20, 2, 1. All of those are over 1. That's why I'm saying just the numbers, right? Or I could guess the negatives of those numbers. Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, looking at this, can you easily see what you should guess? Will, are you texting? Unless you want that cell phone to be mine, put it up. What should I guess? Positive numbers. Which number should I choose? 4, it looks like, and maybe 5.
No, 4.
And then it looks like -1 might work, right? So let's try it. How did we try it yesterday?
We hit
Trace.
and then 4.
And then the number. So does 4 work?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, does 5 work?
Yeah.
Yep. And does -1 work?
Yep.
Yes. So do I have 3 things that work?
Yep.
How many things do I need? 3. So more than likely, I could just pull out all those answers. Now, I'm going to show you why that doesn't work, because Jacob brought that up yesterday. Sometimes that works and sometimes that doesn't. But which number do you want to do? -1, 4, or 5?
4.
4. Okay, let's do 4. Write this down on your paper, please. You got 4 because when you hit trace, you got 0 in for Y. Does that make sense? So what should be in this box at the very end? A 0. So what am I going to do? 4?
-8.
Nope. 1. -8. 11 and 20. And then what do I do? Drop the 1 down. This is your review for synthetic. I'm not going to have time to review this. This is it. Then I multiply. Add. What goes here? -16. And then add. Oh, that's negative. And then multiply. What do I get here?
0.
No shock, right? Who has questions on why I chose 4? Okay, what does that mean?
That's right.
That means I can keep going with the factoring process, right? What has this so far factored into? What's an equivalent statement to this right here? What's an equivalent statement? So
X minus 4 times.
x minus 4, where did that come from? That 4 was positive, and remember that come from the opposite when I had division, right? And then what's going to be my other one?
5 minus 5.
Nope. X squared
4x. Or negative.
minus 4x
Minus 5.
minus 5. Where's that coming from?
The answer.
This right here. This highlighted part is this, right? Do you see how I'm getting that? How did I get this 4? Or what does that match to? That one. Does everybody understand that?
So the x squared minus 4x minus 5, they stay the same, they don't change or anything.
What?
Like, they both stay negative.
Yes. Why did it become an x squared? Why did it become an x squared?
Because you need an x to the third.
Because I started with an x to the third, and remember when I was synthetically dividing, when I brought 1 out, I dropped this exponent 1. Do y'all remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so now what do I do? Is that factored?
Mm.
Guys, I'm giving you a whack one. That means I'm not calling on you right now because I'm trying to get you warmed up. On the next problem, I want to start calling names. If you do not understand or if you're lost, you have to let me know because it's too much to go back to. What?
I said you're an amazing teacher.
What did you say? Do you have a question?
No.
What's x squared minus 4x minus 5? Is that factored? No, because that's a 2. I can try to factor it more. How do I try to factor that quadratic more? X and x.
Yeah. And
I'm
then
factoring the yellow.
4 and 1.
Nope. 5 and 1.
Negative 5.
Negative 5 and positive 1. Does everybody see that? How that foils to be that yellow? Now, is that factored?
Yes.
Yeah, I cannot break it down any further. Are you with me? Well, guys, what do you notice about these things? If I set this one equal to 0, what am I going to get? 4. If I set this one equal to 0, what am I going to get?
5.
And if I set this one equal to 0,
Negative 1.
I get negative 1. Is there a correlation to the graph and those?
Yes.
Should there be?
Yes.
Yes. That's what we've been doing, right? So, guys, what would happen if we hadn't have picked 4? What do you think would have happened if I put 5 in that backwards L?
It would have just got one of the different things.
Will you open the door? Thank you. It would have got the different things. So, it would have still factored to those same 3 things. I want to show you that because when you go home, it doesn't matter which number you choose as long as when you hit trace that number enter, you get 0. Are you with me? All right, so watch if I'd have picked 5 first. So I'm doing the same problem, just in a different way. Are you with me? If I'd have picked 5, what would have been the answer? X minus 5 times
X squared.
X squared minus negative 3x minus 4.
why do I drop it to a 2?
Because
you need
I started with a 3 and I pulled 1 x out, right? Or a factor out. And what's this going to factor into?
X.
a negative and positive, right? Do you see how that's the same thing as this right here, just in a different order? Do you see how that's working? Any questions? All right, so here's the things that I can ask you on your test. I can ask you from that problem, I can ask you to factor. If I ask you to factor, what's your answers? What's your answer? If I said to factor, what's your answer going to be?
The three things in parentheses.
These three things. Are you with me? If I ask you to find the x-intercepts, what's the answers going to be?
Positive 4,
+4, +5, and then -1. Does that make sense? Questions? All right, this next one you're going to do pretty much on your own. I want you to skip 2 because that's actually the hardest one up there. Let's go to number 3, please. So I need you to go back to y equals and turn the first one off and the third one on. We're going to do the third one, not the second one. Talk with your partner, and I want you to figure out what number you should choose to try. And then go ahead and do the process.
and -2.
What?
I have no idea what to do.
3. Number 3. The one that's on the board. We're doing what we did yesterday at the very end of class. Okay. So, Tyler, do you understand what we're doing, Tyler? Do you understand what to do? Can you kind of guide him? Can you work with him?
How do you fix it?
What?
First three.
The first 3. You just want the third one on and all the other ones off. I fixed it. All right, you should have a piece of paper out, guys. Do the process. Your quiz?
No. The thing we got
Homework?
yesterday.
Shh, 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 shh. You should have a piece of paper out.